Good evening, everyone. It is February 10th, 2021. It's about 7 p.m. It's 72 degrees. If you watched the past couple episodes, I'm actually at 90. I'm at 98 episodes now. So I'm about to go over my first 100 episodes. If you've been watching, then you know that this is a shot of downtown Hilo from Coconut Island, which is just on the other side of Hilo Bay. The bay kind of curves around. It goes from out here to where this blinking light is. Actually, there's like a few blinking lights. And the bay curves all the way around, all the way down here, down, and then it hits downtown, and then it curves all the way up. It curves all the way up. It goes way back. It goes way back. And it kind of curves all the way up to actually it keeps going all the way back here, and it stops where that blinking light is. Well, actually I should say I'll say that it's roughly, the bay is roughly in between those 2 points. Like it curves around those 2 points. So one side is one end of the mouth, and the other side is the other one. So you have blinking lights there, and then you have blinking lights here in the distance, and it curves all the way around. And so for those of you who well, I should say for all 5 of you who may have seen heard me mention it in previous videos, the thing about this body of water, which is the reason why in general no one goes swimming in it, is because there's actually big sharks in it. Hopefully in the next few months I'll be able to get a camera where you can see the water like shimmering, sort of shimmering in the dark. You can just barely see it. It's very faint, but there's definitely clouds over the city right now. But yeah, there's like big sharks in this body of water, and so most people don't go swimming in it. The ones that do, they use like ancestral magic to like keep them safe from the sharks. But in general, everyone kind of stays clear of it. They're also a lot better, how do you say? There are also a lot better beaches to go to in terms of like warmth. Here, I would say that like it's interesting. Right here is basically the water is a there's a term for water that's here. It's called brackish. It's like when salt water mixes with seawater. Um, and the thing that I notice is that all of the fresh water. I said salt water mixes with seawater. I meant fresh water mixes with seawater. Um, when fresh water mixes with seawater, it's called brackish. And here, the fresh water, sits on top, and the seawater. I believe that based on like swimming in it, I'd say that the fresh water sits on top, and the salt water sits on the bottom. Meaning that when you jump in, um, when you jump in, I'm trying to think what happens. Oh, the water is cold on top. The water is cooler on top. Like in at the higher depths, and then it's warmer on the bottom. When you go deep into the water. So like even if you jump in and it's only like 6 or 7 feet deep. Even if you go in and it's only 6 or 7 feet deep, you can still once you've adjusted to the water temperatures, you can feel when you go down to the bottom of the 6 feet that the water is warm, like it's warm, and so that's the seawater. All the water in the ocean here is warm. Warm as in like if it were not mixing with fresh water, with cold fresh water from the mountains, then you could go into it comfortably without feeling a shock in from the temperature change. But here I would say that you definitely do feel a shock from the temperature change. I'd say just about all the water, just about every time that I've been to the beach, it's been cold right at the start, and then once I swim out or swim into it, like it's warmer. But but oh wow, it's a little bit of a breeze there. Ooh, it's a warm breeze. Yeah, it's actually a warm breeze. It's not always a warm breeze, it can be cool, it can be warm, but there's a warm breeze on the water right now. It's nice. So the last thing that I was saying in like earlier on today is that regarding living out here is that it's a little bit crazy. Like when you look at it on a map and you like on Google Maps and you just zoom out and you just keep zooming out, and you see just where you are, like that you're really like far out in the middle of the ocean, like far from like big land masses for like a very long time. Like you're just this like Hawaii is just this like tiny dot. Um, and it's just a little bit like it's a little bit crazy. It's a little bit crazy to think about. And so that's what I'd been saying was the most how do you say, maybe the biggest con of living here is just like the distance from everywhere else. Like it's like, you know, if you live in I don't know, Kansas City or something, you know, like you you can what's the word, you know, like you may live someplace that's like that seems like it's like far away from a lot of people, you know, like let's say you're in Kansas City, but like you can always just like hop a bus or drive or even walk, you know, and like be in any other place. But like here, like if you're here, then like you know, like you kind of have to know that this is where you'll be for the foreseeable, you know, just this one state, just uh, this one state, and that's a little bit weird to think about. Like, you know, even living back in New York, you know, like if I had to imagine, I knew that I would at least leave the state like a few different times, um, at least a handful of times per year. Um, um, and here, wow, yeah, like you're just here. Your only options are. Hold on, give me a moment. Give me a moment. Um, yeah, so I would say that the isolation is a big. I personally think that it's a con. If you all remember, you know, moving here, hadn't intended on going here. I'd intended on actually moving someplace like the West Coast, like California or Colorado or I don't know, Washington State. This is the first time I've managed to figure out a camera setting that lets you see the palm trees at nighttime. But yeah, you know, like going to any of those states, I feel like I don't know, like in any worst case scenario, you know, like I can hop a bus and be and like reach a family member or something like that, you know, like any scenario I can just hop a bus, you know, or a train or something, and be like near and reach like whatever family member I need to. But here, you know, if you don't have the means to just like hop around, like fly around all the time, and it really is something just like knowing that, like having to accept like that you'll just be here, like on these islands for the foreseeable. Um, I will say that the current events have, you know, with the fact that no one's traveling, it's kept flight prices very low. I think it might be possible to find flights to the other islands like Oahu for maybe like $60. Maybe even less than that. Maybe as low as like $40. But you know, right now flights are cheap, but yeah, it's really something. It's really something living someplace where you know that you can't like can't so easily leave. At least not yet. I think probably as long as I can get like a normal like salary job like back in IT, then I probably could. I probably you know, like would be able to fly at a moment's notice or whatever if I needed to, or even fly regularly between like back and forth. Um, but here, but my hope, I mean, personally, my hope is to be able to keep going further out, like, or I should say farther out. What is that? There's like a howling sound coming from the sea. Um, yeah, personally, my goal is to move farther out. I could easily see myself settling down here, but and I actually hope that I get to. I hope that I can like get a house or an apartment or something. Um, or even if I have to freaking like build a cabin, you know, like just buy like a. I hope I don't have to. I really would prefer not to live so bare bones. But like, if I can, I definitely am gonna try to get like some kind of permanent embankment here. Like I could definitely settle down here for life. Um, like hands down, just a very very chill place. But yeah, my goal is to actually. I mean, what I'd like to do is move out even further than that. Like I'd like to continue west. Um, I mean, I kind of always wanted to live in like other, at least one other country in my lifetime. Like, I mean, I like the challenge. I like the aspect of challenge. Um, And also, like, the world is so big. Like, it's really good to be able to do something like that. Like, to go and, like, live in other places, and like, see how people live, and, like, I don't know, just and meet people, and I don't know, the whole nine. So uh so 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 yeah, like, what I'm hoping is that I can pull things together, so that I can have a chance to live overseas. Um, I've actually met quite a number of people. It seems like there's a lot of people here that are travelers, like a lot of, like, people who live here now. Like, I've met a lot of older folks who live here now, and even, like, middle-aged folks. Just a little bit, maybe a little bit older than me, who live here now, that have lived in other countries, like out east or whatever, like Thailand and stuff. Um, but yeah, like, that's something that would be hard for me not to make sure happens, like, at least at some point in my life. Like, like, if I absolutely have to, I'll do it. I'll wing it, I'll wing it, and then I'll just figure out living in a place if I have to. Um, but that's definitely not what I want to do. Like, not in another country. Like, winging it in another country, it's a lot better if you, like, have things set. Like, you go through the appropriate channels to, like, apply for work and the whole nine. But I am trying to, get myself together for freelance jobs, for freelance translating, and so that actually could do it. Like, that could do it. I still have, like, 2 more years of study, but that could actually make it so that I could both, like, kind of live, like, live wherever, and without, how do you say, live wherever, while, wherever I wanted to, like, in the world, while without decreasing my presence in my family, um, without decreasing, like, like, my impact on my presence, um, and that would be really cool. Like, it'd be really cool to be able to live wherever I wanted in the world. Geez, I mean, I could probably easily go. I could probably easily go, like 10 years, just, like, living in different parts of the world, without, like, being ready to come back home, like, to go back to New York. I kind of feel like I'll always return to New York, but I could definitely go, like 10 years just living around the world. Um, and it would be really cool to be able to do that, while making sure that to be able to afford to do that, and also, like, take care of my family, and, like, make sure that that my presence is still felt regardless of where I happen to be in the world. And so that's kind of what I'm aiming at. That's kind of what I'm aiming for in the next few years, maybe by 40. I'm 37 now. And at that point, I mean, I kind of really just want to be able to just take years of, like, studying, being able to study, like study around the world and um, um, like learn from everyone and really like try to get like just a better picture of how things are, everywhere. But we'll see. Oh man, I can't see. Um, um, so um so I don't know, we'll see what we can make happen, but in the meantime, like as for being here, I you know, I kind of feel like I'd be prone to treating it like another country. I mean, I kind of think of it that way a little bit. Um, I understand what happened here, but um, Hawaii definitely has its own culture, and it's definitely felt here. And it's really cool. There's people here who volunteer for the Hawaiian Kingdom. Someone actually just mentioned that to me at work not too long ago, and so I think I would want to check out. If things worked out where I ended up like kind of stuck here for a while, not in terms of living, but just in terms of being able to like fly out whenever I needed to, even just for visiting. If for some reason I could only afford to just kind of stay put, then I would definitely treat the entire place as sort of its own little country. Like I would probably like exhaust every avenue of interesting things to do and see and get involved in on one island, and then like just go to another island and exhaust all of the same stuff on the next island, and then just go to another island after that and just exhaust like all the really cool things to like see and do, and like hike and scuba and swim and I don't know, like check out, and then just go and go to the next island after that. I mean, it's just kind of like may as well, if you like if you end up like like if things go south or whatever, and you like end up You know, like, I don't know, in any kind of situation. You definitely may as well get the most of it. But in this case, though, like, I would prefer not to leave. I would prefer not to leave without, like, setting up some permanent residence here. Like it's very chill. It's very chill. I like that it's still in America. I know there's people that will, like, move or even buy places overseas and, like, live there. But while I do believe that that would be cool to do, to, like, have a dwelling overseas, I wouldn't want to have one overseas with and not have one as part of my own country, like part of the U.S. You know, like, I would definitely always want to have someplace here first because, like, because the U.S. is home. So for I don't know, and I think I'll never not want to return to New York. You know, like, I always have family there, and it's crazy. It's actually crazy, kind of like it's kind of crazy just realizing that it's crazy that I'd say that New York is the first. This is the first time that I'm noticing that I always miss New York. It just occurred to me. But I mean, that's an easy city to miss. Just a moment. So yeah, so yeah, I realized that I always miss New York. But you know, there's really no way to there's really no way to there's really no way to get to live anyplace else without missing home, you know. But I guess the real question about like going back home, which I mean I always will anyway, you know, like I'm sure I'll be back to visit within the next, I don't know, within the next like year or so. So So, the real question is how much, truthfully, truthfully, the real question is how much is New York going to change in my lifetime? That's the real question. You know, like how much is your hometown going to change in your lifetime? I think that's really something that's crazy about growing into old age, is that you can return home at an old age and just like not even recognize it there. You know, I've seen flying cars portrayed as like in the same way as, or I should say flying transport vehicles. I've seen them portrayed in the same way as schools of fish, sort of swimming through cities, like weaving in between buildings and stuff. And that would really be a sight to behold in any city within my lifetime. Is like air taxis, you know, like all kind of bunched together like schools of fish. Just kind of swimming through the air. That'd really be something. But yeah, I realized that like as for where I grew up, I already almost half don't recognize it. I would say there's two main neighborhoods that I grew up in. One is in Gramercy, which is it's by the East River. It's on the